Okay, so now we're recording muscle lab video number 6 of 8, muscles of the forearm or antebrachium. First of all, why am I sharing? I need to stop sharing and get this into view. Okay, so this right here, well, really this right here, antebrachium, carpal, metacarpal, digital region, this whole area of the hand is the manus. So what we have here is an anterior view, because again, this is the palmar surface of the hand, the way the fingers bend, in that direction, dorsum of the hand, posterior surface of the antebrachium. So we're going to do these muscles, and then I'll cover a little bit of what we traditionally have punted and just referred to as the thenar muscles, muscular portion of the thumb, and hypothenar muscles, that muscular portion that leads to your pinky finger. Okay, so this is a reasonably decent view here. I got to sort of hold this diagonally here, just so everything's in the field of view. First, muscle. Actually, before we even talk about muscles, flex the hand at the wrist. I'm flexing. Now I'm going to extend the hand. So flexed, extended, flexed, extended. So I extend, I flex. Muscles on the anterior part of the forearm are flexors. Muscles on the posterior surface of the forearm are extensors. So you're going to see the term flexor, whatever, extensor, whatever. If you're looking at the back, chances are you're looking at an extensor. If you're looking at the front, chances are you're looking at a flexor. So in a limited space of a lab practicum or a timed quiz, you think flex the palm, extend the back. Now, the thumb. Anything associated with the thumb, remember, I can make a circle with my thumb. What does a circle have? Circle has a diameter and a radius. You know that from geometry class. So radius a bone goes to the thumb, and in anatomical position, that's lateral. Everything on this side may have the term radialis in it. What goes to the pinky? The ulna. So everything over here may have the term ulnaris or ulnaris in it. If you've looked at a textbook or a lab manual at all the muscles here, first thing that comes to your mind is, oh my gosh, I have to study this stuff and we have to be tested on it. What did I sign up for? I know it's intimidating at first, but there's some things you can do to get yourself grounded. Front of the arm, flex, back of the arm, extensor. Anything with a thumb is radialis. Anything going to the pinky, probably ulnaris in the name. So that being said, let's start. This little muscle here, where does it go? Oh my God, check it out. It looks like it originates on a lateral supracondylar ridge, actually medial supracondylar ridge of the humerus, and wraps around, and oh my God, is that the radius it inserts upon? So pronator teres, it's going to originate on the medial epicondyle of the humerus, and it's going to go wrap around to the middle of the shaft of the radius. It's a weak flexor of the forearm at the elbow joint. So once again, you could say it's a very weak helper of the biceps, brachii, and brachialis, a weak synergist. So it's on team forearm flexion, at least part-time. But flexing the forearm is its side gig. What it really does is it rotates your forearm. So I'm using my pronator teres muscle right now with the rotating this technically. Now I'm using it. Pronate your forearm. So let's use it again. Pronate that forearm. Okay, so that's the pronator teres. Now, let me just put these back on here really quick like, because I really don't want them to be off. There we go. So I put this other group of these all go to the thumb. Check it out. That's a thumb. And this group of muscles I just sort of peeled off here, They all sort of go there. I wonder if their name is something radialis, and they all seem to be on the back here. I wonder if one of these has flexor something radialis and extensor something radialis. We'll get to these shortly. This muscle right here, pronator teres, this one in the middle. Let's follow this tendon. Pronator teres disappears, does its own thing, but this muscle, I'm following its tendon and it goes, OMG, it goes to the thumb. And it's on the anterior surface, the front of the forearm. Its name is flexor carpi radialis. So it's on the front, likely to be a flexor, goes to the thumb, something radialis. And indeed, this is sort of going to flex the hand at the wrist for the most part. Where does it start? Look at all these. They all go to the same spot. They all start on the medial epicondyle of the humerus, that rough textured surface adjacent to the medial condyle or trochlea. Rough textured surfaces are sites for muscle attachment. But let's follow this little sucker right here. Again, it's going to go past everything here. It's going to go to number 2 and 3, so 2 and 3 metacarpals. It's sort of gonna dip underneath. This band of connective tissue right here, this is called a flexor retinaculum. This band of connective tissue is actually important. We have a lot of retinacula on our hands and feet. We got an extensor retinaculum on the back, and then a flexor retinaculum here. This branching set of tendons here is, especially this one right here, is called a palmar aponeurosis. All these things sort of bundle these cables together and keep them from flying apart. It sort of squeezes all your tendons and ligaments here together, so they don't flop out and you lose the efficiency and the structural integrity of the hand. Kind of like an elastic bungee cord that ties everything in one spot. Okay. Next muscle up is brachioradialis. Okay, so brachioradialis, where's that one? Let's see, right here. This is an extensor carpi radialis. And this little thingy in the middle, this is the brachioradialis. So once again, it's going from the upper arm here, brachial region. We're going to follow it around. Let's make sure I keep my finger on that dang thing. We're following it around. And yes, sirree, there's the thumb on this side, something radialis. So the brachioradialis originates on the lateral supracondylar ridge of the humerus. Remember when I talked about the supracondylar ridges, how the distal end of the humerus looked like a cobra snake because the supracondylar ridge is flared out like a cobra's head does when it's mad? It's going to go to the base of the radial styloid process under here. So this brachioradialis muscle, it doesn't go up here like the flexors and extensors. It stops at the distal end of the radius. Okay, what does it do? It does a lot of things. It sort of does some rotation of the forearm, supination, but it's the textbook lists it as a weak forearm flexor. It's a weak synergist of the pronator teres, biceps brachii, and brachialis muscle. Okay. Next up here, as we bring this around, let's see. This one right here. So pronator teres, flexor carpi radialis, and this one right here in the middle. If we can see this, follow this muscle in the middle here. We have the contractile belly, we have the tendon. Look at this tendon, it sort of splits into kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4 different sections there. This muscle right here is the palmaris longus. It's going to originate on the medial condyle of the humerus with all the others, like the pronator, what looks like the pronator teres and the flexor carpi radialis. But the pronator teres, I'm sorry, the palmaris longus, its ultimate insertion is going to be, can we see this? This gray banded connective tissue up here that connects, in real life, it's like at the balls of your finger joints here. It's called the palmar aponeurosis. It's going to be a hand flexor, so you can grip stuff. You go to Big Five and you buy those little grip strength workouts. If you do any stuff like grappling, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, you know, you're in rock climbing, oh my God, big time. You really got to work out your grip strength. If you work in construction and stuff like that, then of course you're going to have monster grip strength as it is. It also is going to tense the skin of the palm of the hand for gripping and doing other manipulations. So that right there is palmaris longus. Now, let me share the screen here. I'm going to share with Canvas. Let me click this. I need to go to the very next page here. Muscles of the upper extremities 2 of 2, which is this video. So, check it out. Look at this little guy dipping in between the crook of your antebrachium, where, you know, you take a phlebotomy class, you learn how to stick people, put in a little catheter, draw blood. You're going to be absolutely obsessed with this antebrachial body region in phlebotomy class. We have our pronator teres. Let's check this bad boy out. We have our flexor carpi thumb radialis. And around here, palmaris longus, where it just fan-shaped, branching out of all these little tendons here. That's one angle, one view. This is this is the back of the hand here. This is not what we were looking at just now. But at any rate, you can see, oh my God, this is it. This is right here, palmaris longus, flexor carpi radialis, and this should be the pronator teres here. This is just a slightly different view. You follow that tendon up, goes past this flexor retinaculum, and it fans out on all these little tendons. So again, when I take these photos for these images on Canvas, a lot of these muscles are the same thing, just from a slightly different angle, a slightly different viewpoint as I rotate these, and I took the pictures of them with a smartphone camera. Didn't even need to bring in my Nikon. These are old. I think I took these with my Nikon, but seriously, why carry around a heavy old DSLR when modern stuff, even a $200 Android from T-Mobile, their base model version, gives me better resolution than a $1,200, $1,500 DSLR from like 5 years ago. Okay, cool. So this being a 2021, this picture is approaching 5 years of age. Anyway, so you get all the different angles there. Let's stop share and go back to the stuff at hand. So we got the muscles kind of on the anterior side there. Now, let's deal with the pinky finger here. So this thing has been conspicuously ignored. Digit number 5, pinky panky finger, pinky panky pink finger. And we got this muscle. Where the heck is that going? Medial epicondyle of the humerus again? Yeah, that's where it's going. Right here. And it just on the other side of the palmaris longus. And again, it's gonna go to the carpals, very specifically the pisiform bone and the hamate bone, and metacarpal number 5, which is kind of like the knuckle portion of your pinky finger here. Okay, so that is the flexor carpi ulnaris, pinky finger, ulnar, thumb, radial. And this is still on the anterior surface of the forearm. So well, technically, there we go. Correct hands there. So this still being on the anterior surface is a flexor carpi ulnaris. What's it going to do? Flex and adduct the hand, and it's going to stabilize the wrist when the fingers are extended. So when you do this, it's going to help stabilize the wrist. Okay, flexing the hand. Whoops, my bad. There we go. Flex the hand, extend the hand, and let us abduct. What am I saying? This is ADD, adduct, and then abduct. Okay, so, you know, you were working construction, swinging a framing hammer, drill, working in the machine shop, playing tennis, playing golf, playing softball, shooting baskets. You're going to do a lot of complex movements with your hand. Heck, typing data entry, you're going to be doing a lot of complex movements with your hand. Okay, time to rotate this around to the back, folks. So again, flexor carpi ulnaris. And what do we have here? Something on the back. Let's follow this bad boy. Olecranon process of the ulna where the triceps insert flexor extensors. So let's follow this group here. Right here, we got a extensor carpi ulnaris. Goes to the pinking finger, it's the ulnaris. So let's see. Flexor, there we go, make sure I got this correct. Flexor carpi ulnaris. Okay, now I'm sorry, what am I saying? Flexor, extensor carpi ulnaris. Where does the extensor carpi ulnaris go? Well, it's going to come from the lateral epicondyle of the humerus here, kind of like be about right here. Actually, what am I saying? Right here's the lateral side, medial side. We're looking at it from the back. It's going to insert on the 5th metacarpal bone on the posterior side, and it's going to be a hand extender. It's going to do that, extends the hand at the wrist. It will also help adduct the hand, seeing as how the ulna and the pinky finger in anatomical position are medially located. Okay, now this group right here, a lot of different things. These have all been called. On this particular worksheet, what I'm going to say refers to this. This is the extensor digitorum group. A new term is, and really it's an old term that's new again, is extensor digitorum communis. Why is it communal? It's shared, like a community pool at a townhouse development or a gated community. Look at this tendon. It's going to split and go to digits 2, 3, 4, and even a little bit of 5. So at least 3 of the 5 digits share this extensor digitorum group, hence the another alternate term, extensor digitorum communis. Now, this little thing, make sure everyone can see this. I need to get a pointer here because my fingers are too fat. So let me get something that's, there we go. So this little thing right here, follow the tendon, follow this little narrow strip of muscle with this number. I cannot even see that number. It looks, does it say 52 or something like that? I cannot see it with my old, no good for nothing eyeballs. This is the extensor digiti minimi. What's minimal? What's minimum? It's like something tiny. The pinky finger is minimal. So extensor digitorum minimi goes to the pinky finger. Essentially, it originates on the lateral epicondyle of the humerus, like all this other stuff does. And it's going to go ultimately to the distal phalange number 5, the distal finger bone phalange of the pinky finger. And what's it going to do? Make sure I get this. It's going to do that. So I'm going to give my extensor digiti minimi a workout. 1, 2, should I put like a little mini 5-ounce dumbbell on there? I don't know why I'd work that finger out. But again, if you do grip strength, rock climbing, stuff like that, probably a good idea to have all your hand muscles just buffed up beyond belief. Also, again, for stuff where you're grappling in martial arts. Okay, so that's our extensor digiti minimi. Now, extensor carpi. Ooh, radialis. We're talking thumbs here. Extensor carpi radialis, both long and the short. Okay, so let's see, how am I going to do this? I guess we can sort of, there we go. That changes everything, don't it? We just took a bunch of stuff off. Extensor carpi radialis, longus and brevis. Where do they originate? Lateral supracondylar ridge of the humerus, way up here. And where are they going to insert? Metacarpals 2 and 3 down here. That's not these. These are something totally different. These go to the thumb. So these two muscles are different. So extensor carpi radialis, it's going to extend and abduct the hand at the wrist. Okay, so extensor carpi radialis, again, this little thing down here, you could argue this would be the brevis and this would be the longus. Let's see, anything else we want to talk about here? In terms of what's on the word list on Canvas, I think we've covered almost everything. Extensor digitorum profundus down here. There's actually a lot more to talk about, but this being general anatomy class, you may notice that we have a severe heavy workload already. So I kind of unilaterally skipped a lot of these other muscles. A lot of other instructors do too. Okay, and how do you like that? That just came off. That's not the handle. That's not good. Okay, now we have some other muscles that act on the thumb. Okay, so let's see. Bring this here. So again, we got our little flexors running around here, our extensors here, but we also have one of our extensors hiding underneath here. So pulling this off, we see that these two little muscles on the side that seem insignificant actually aren't. Look at how they wrap around. They're actually kind of big when we see how deep they go and how far they go. But most of the time, you're just going to see this image and you only see these two right here. So these are the abductor pollicis longus and extensor pollicis brevis. Give them a workout. Abductor, thumb going away from the body, and let's see, I need to bring it back forcefully. Extensor pollicis brevis. Okay, so the abductor pollicis longus here, pull this off, long one. Oh my God, look at that. That comes all the way down and around to insert on the back, the posterior surface of the radius and ulna interosseous membrane. It's going to go all the way to the trapezium bone. Remember the trapezium of the carpal trapezium, it's by the thumb, and it's going to keep going to go to the first metacarpal. And again, that abducts and extends the thumb. And then its little friend here, the extensor pollicis brevis, posterior surface of the radius and ulna, slightly different locale at the interosseous membrane, goes to proximal phalange number 1, and that's going to be a major thumb there we go, thumb extender. So side of the hand, flex the thumb, extend the thumb. Okay, so we got those. Now, put everything back on here just because I don't like this stuff sitting around here. And remember those thenar muscles? Well, yeah, I know we call these thenar muscles that actually a lot of muscles in here, like maybe six of them. Um, the most important one is the abductor pollicis brevis. Where it's going to originate is on the flexor retinaculum and some of the little carpals down here. It's going to go to the base of proximal phalange number one. So this right here, this first portion, the most muscular, meaty portion of the thenar group, that's the abductor pollicis brevis. What's it going to do? That. It's going to abduct your thumb at the wrist. I totally forgot to mention the name of the wrist joints for arthrology would have been carpometacarpal joint. Okay, so let's see anything else we have here. I think we've pretty much covered it for the lower extremities. My God, I can't believe I didn't see anything about the hypothenar group here. There are so many muscles in the hand. It's like another couple dozen. Never mind the deep muscles of the forearm. We only barely covered the superficial muscles, but look at all these other ones in there. Okay, so that being said, some of you folks will be going into physical therapy, PT specialization. Well, orthopedic medicine, sports medicine, you will be seeing all of these muscles and ligaments and tendons and nerves to go with them again. Let's go ahead and stop recording. This is the end of Muscle Lab 6 of 8. Next up, lower extremities.